Oil prices end the month and the week getting back to $74 a barrel. Recall, we did just see oil last week get as low as 65. Prior to that, earlier in the month, oil was trading close to 77. So it moved from 77 down to 65 and back up to 74 to end the month. Kind of culminates what we're seeing here in oil. It was a quick move lower, a short-lived move lower on fears that the variant was going to cause more lockdowns and that would suck out that demand that was missing all of last year and has been pushed back into the market, giving us these higher levels. So ultimately, oil prices did see a quick drop, but again, it was very short-lived. And the fact that oil right now shaking that off suggests that maybe these variants won't cause the lockdowns that we saw in all of 2020. So again, a move from 77 down to 65 in the month of July, and now back up to 74 to close out the month. Now, what does this mean for volatility? Well, if you check out that CVOL index over at cmegroup.com, you will notice that volatility has become very directional with the underlying price. So as prices decline, we see volatility go higher. Obviously, declining prices has a little bit of fear built into it if we're going to go back to lockdown. Likewise, the move higher means that demand is better, there's more usage, and obviously we're seeing that volatility come down as prices rise. So higher prices, lower volatility, lower prices, higher volatility seems to be the case at this point, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Lastly, let's look at supply and demand, really the two variables that push oil around the most. On the supply side, we saw drawdowns. We see some global supply very tight here at this point. That is very positive for oil prices. Likewise, demand has come back. And despite the fact that we saw that push lower down to 65 last week, that was maybe on fear that demand might start to wane. The actual demand hasn't waned yet. So we continue to see strong demand. We continue to see tighter global supplies. We actually have seen OPEC increase their production modestly, but that could be offset by the fact that the U.S. isn't producing as much. So at this point, supply seems to be in check. It's that demand side that remains high, and that is continuing to push oil prices higher. So oil, a busy month that culminated in basically getting prices back to where they were at the beginning, close to 74, as we look ahead and we continue to watch, and oil will continue to watch, the potential for lockdowns, the variant, the economic growth, all the above, but right now seems to be pricing in some optimism, which is nice to see.